folks, welcome along to the channel. I am the Custard Prophet and this is the ABC Journeyman episode 1 at our first club, and we're not going to tell you what that club is. That's going to come in a second. You can see I'm still in my kitchen, and we'll be heading down to the first club very shortly, but there's a few bits and pieces to get through before we manage to do that. Yes, folks, in today's episode, we need to talk through those pesky objectives and rules. So you need to know what this journeyman is all about. And once we've done that, we will reveal the club that we're going to start at. If you were watching the first episode, the introductory episode, just a 3-minute video, I'll try and put a link up the top there. If you were watching that, I gave a few hints as to where it might be. Did anyone work that out? Does anyone know where we're going to? Put it down in the comments. Not that I would know if you'd put them down there after you actually heard me reveal it later in the video. But, you know, if you had worked it out, let me know why it is that club. So once we've revealed the club, then we will have a look around it and see players we've got, players we don't have. So first of all, let's just a little bit of an introduction. This is a journeyman around England, not anywhere else. It's just England. We're using Dan FM Database's level 10 database, which is bloody awesome. He does it every single year. If you're not familiar with it, go and look it up on Steam, search for the level 10 database and you will find it. And you can take any of the tiny little clubs that exist around you and try and take them all the way to the Premier League and beyond. Exciting times. It's an awesome database, and I'm sure you will have a lot of fun with it, and we will have a lot of fun with it here. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you subscribe to this channel to make sure you don't miss any of the journeyman action coming up. So how is this journeyman going to work? Well, as it sounds, the ABC Journeyman is essentially we start at a club beginning with the letter A, we move to a club starting with B, then C, then D, then E. It's a little more complicated than that, and we'll go through that in the rules in a second as to how we can make those moves. It's not just a free-for-all, but that is essentially the route that we have to go down. So we have 2 objectives, really, one of which is a kind of very much long-term objective and one which is always ongoing. The first objective, of course, is to get as far as we can through the alphabet, but sticking to the rules that I'm going to talk about in a second. The second objective, which, as I say, is probably a long way off, is winning a European competition. Not going to happen, surely, but imagine if it did. We aren't going to do it with this club we're going to start with, but we may well do it with another club down the line. Maybe an E, Everton. Maybe an F, Fulham. Maybe a G, Gateshead. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the future? But that is what we're aiming for. Right, rules. I think you've waited long enough for the rules. Let's do rules. So this is a journeyman, and because it's a journeyman, we have to move clubs. Previously in my Scandinavian journeyman, one of the big mistakes I made was staying at a club for far too long, and that kind of stagnated us, and we didn't get to the end of the save because I was desperately trying to win the league with Örebro and finishing second all the time, which was annoying but almost very satisfying. So we don't want that to happen this time. We want to try and get as far through the alphabet as we can. That's what we're trying to do. So we have a maximum amount of years that we can stay at a club, which is 4 years. We can't go anywhere beyond that, so we have to leave clubs and start again somewhere else. So that's rule number 1. We can spend 4 years at a club, no more. So rule number 2 is if we want to move to a new club where we go up a letter, so if we're starting at A going to letter B, we have to win the league or a cup. Once we do that, we are allowed to move. We don't have to move straight away, but we are then allowed to move before that 4th year has come and gone. So rule number 3 basically it surrounds what happens if we don't manage to achieve a promotion or a cup win, if we have to leave the club via other means. So we reach that 4-year maximum or we get sacked. Well, what happens then is we just have to move to another club starting with the same letter as the club we've left. Simple as that. And therein are all the rules. Not a lot of rules to live by, but everything else goes. And fingers crossed, that will give us a bit of a challenge We have to have a bit of success before we move on, but there's also room for complete disaster as well, and I'm sure you will look forward to that. Okay, folks, it's been long enough. Let's reveal the club that we are moving to. Hello folks, this is where we're starting off life. As you saw in the graphic, we're starting in Andover town. Now the reason we're starting in Andover is not just because it seems like a nice place to go. I've never been there, it may well be. No, it's because this is where the first murder was in the ABC murders, in the Poirot case. So that is where we have been signalled to go by the potential killer in the letter. If you saw the first episode, you'll see we don't have the badges in there at the minute. I am going to try and sort that out. I thought it was quite an easy fix, and then realised it wasn't as easy a fix as I hoped. So hold your horses. You hopefully will see something fairly soon here, and get the actual badges in. I think the colours are right. I haven't really checked this out, but fingers crossed the badges then can make this look a little bit better than it is. But this is the ground that we have, the Portway Stadium. It's a capacity of 3,000, so not a huge amount. It's a grass surface rather than concrete, which is always good. And we've got 26 hardy season ticket holders. So we've got some work to do to make this town something. It was founded fairly recently in 2013, and they are nicknamed the Bluebirds. We are in the Wessex League Division 1, and of course we are semi-professional, not amateur, so that's kind of an important thing. So let's have a look at this division. These are the Wessex teams. I have to say I don't recognise any of these places. Oh, and Newport Isle of Wight is in here. I mean, they used to be a lot higher up than that, I can tell you that much. So let's have a look how we are suggested that we're going to finish. Season preview. Andover Town, not really one of the top teams in here. Downton, presumably not of Downton Abbey fame, but they got any good players? Can we nick them all? 42-year-old Declan McGregor. Wow. I mean, this guy's going to be ancient. Right, so we are. There's apparently a job going there as well, but we can't go to Downton for a while. So we've got three letters to get through before we can get there. So this is the team. Let's have a look at the facilities that we are working with. So as expected, it's a poor quality pitch. Corporate facilities are basic. Training facilities, youth facilities, both basic academy coaching, limited youth recruitment. There's nothing here to get excited about at all. What about the squad? Well, we've got a fairly decently sized squad that you'll hopefully see here. The game itself, the level 10 database, doesn't have players filling out all of these teams, so you have to add players to team. So the vast majority of these players are not real. There's one real person. You can probably tell which one it is. Yes, it's this guy who is intelligent, a target forward, and a 5-star player. The rest of it, they're all look like they're going to be really, really good. But as you can see, they are not really developed. It's mad here. These aren't going to develop into 5-star players. Look at them. These are 24 and 25, and they're not even doing proper training. But as you can see, we'll have a look at Ben Dillon, but it's probably not worth having a look at anyone else at this point. This is the level that we're working with. He is in his prime years. That's debatable. I would say he probably is. He's got an acceleration of 7, a strength of 4. What is this guy? You can't be a target man with a strength of 4. He can head the ball, but he's going to get pushed off it. I'm not convinced. He's a well-travelled striker. Great. But that is our star man. That's what we're working with. Holy moly. Let's have a little look at some of these other these other superstars. We're going to need to do a little bit of business, I think. So, Mbalaso Shongwei, yeah, you don't look great, mate. You don't look great. You've got nothing really. You got a work rate of 15. That's it. Unambitious personality. Ouch. I think the rest of the league's going to look very similar. I think we'll have a little look at the comparison with the rest of the league and see where we sit. But we will be looking to bring in some additional players, I think, here, because there is some absolute crud that is that we're going to have to deal with otherwise. Right, here we go. Here's our staff, as you can see. It's me, and we're the highest in the Western League because I've basically kept my guy the same as I forgot to change his attributes really, but it's fine, it doesn't really matter. And we got a director of football, so we need some staff as well. Got old Neil Benson here, director of football. Look at that, really knows his stuff. So yeah, we don't really need him. Someone wants him, wanted by 29 clubs. Bloody hell, he's got an adaptability of 15. Wow. Well, we might need to get some additional coaches. Let's say that. We've got no medical staff. Work has to be done. Finances don't look particularly great. We've got a £1,000 budget. I don't think we'll be using that. The wage bill is, we're slightly over it at the minute. That's interesting. So that's fun. And projections are that we're going to be losing a lot of money, but as many people say, this doesn't really work. So here we go. Let's have a look at our at us in comparison to the rest of the league. So this is, we looked terrible, but there's a good reason for that, because pretty much everyone in the league is pretty terrible. So we're not awful. We've got the highest. What's that? Stamina. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. So we're going to last matches and other teams aren't, but we are struggling with some of the forward attributes. Physically, we've also got the high. Full stamina. Mental attributes, we've got some which look quite good, but many of them are below, and similar with the technical attributes. So generally, we're just below the average, I think, across the board. So work to be done. But we've got no room in the wage budget to bring anyone else in. It's going to be tricky. I'm hopefully, folks, we're going to make some changes to what we've got here. Some players in, some players out. So we'll play our first match against New Milton Town in the next episode. Fingers crossed we can get this team rolling. Anyway, folks, if you like the sound of this save, I hope you do. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I will see you in the next episode. Remember, go and watch the introduction video. It will make everything make sense. Well, it won't really, but it's worth it. Just 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes. See you again. Bye.